Back in the summer of 2023, I rolled into this quiet little suburb called Pine Valley, right on the edge of Sacramento. Emily Thompson, a fresh widow hauling my 6-month-old son, little Noah, and whatever scraps of life I could fit in my beat-up SUV. My husband had just passed from a freak car accident, leaving us with nothing but debts and a distant aunt's old house she'd willed to me sight unseen, figuring it'd be our fresh start. But man, was I wrong. The dust hadn't even settled when the trouble started, like the neighborhood was waiting to pounce. It all kicked off that first afternoon as I unloaded boxes under the scorching sun. Noah fussing in his carrier like he sensed the storm coming out struts Karen Wilkins, the self-appointed queen of the HOA, clipboard in hand, lips pursed like she'd sucked on a lemon. New here, huh? Well, let me tell you. We have rules. Your aunt let this place go to hell. Weeds everywhere, paint peeling, and don't get me started on that fence leaning like a drunk at closing time. Her voice dripped with that fake sweet venom. You know, the type eyes narrowing as she glanced at Noah, adding, and kids? They better not make noise after 8, or we'll fine you into the ground. I stood there, sweat dripping down my back, forcing a smile while inside I was boiling. Why the hostility? Turns out, later I pieced it together from whispers at the corner store. Karen had her eyes on my aunt's property for years, wanted to flip it for some developer buddy of hers, expand her little empire of perfectly manicured lawns and power plays. My arrival blocked her greedy dreams cold, and she wasn't about to let some outsider widow ruin her plans without a fight. For weeks, it was hell. Anonymous complaints about my unsightly yard, fines piling up for nonsense like my recycling bin being 2 inches over the line, even a note on my door accusing Noah's cries of disturbing the peace. I'd cry myself to sleep some nights, rocking him close, wondering if we'd made a huge mistake uprooting from the city. But then there's Jack Harlan, the rugged guy next door, ex-military type with a quiet strength and those kind eyes that saw right through my tough act. He'd lost his wife to cancer a couple years back, raised his teenage niece alone, and he caught me one evening struggling with a leaky roof. Offered a ladder and a beer without a word, just got to work. Karen's been running this place like her personal kingdom, he muttered while hammering. Bullies folks into submission, especially newcomers. Thinks she owns the block, cause her husband's on the city council. His words hit deep, stirring something in me, a flicker of fight I thought I'd lost with my husband. Things escalated when Karen slapped me with an eviction notice threat over some bogus covenant violation, claiming my house was a blight on property value. Showed up at my door with 2 cronies from the board, smirking as she waved the papers. Pack up, sweetie, or we'll lean your ass out of here. Widows like you don't belong in a family neighborhood anyway. Oh, the rage boiled up, but I kept cool, smiling sweetly as I said, you know what, Karen? I've got records. My aunt paid every dime, and your rules smell like extortion to me. That night, with Jack's help, we dug into public records online, uncovered her shady deals, backroom favors, inflated fines funneled to her pocket, even emails plotting to force out undesirables like me to grab land cheap. It was personal for her jealousy over my aunt's prime lot, mixed with her control freak ego, and yeah, a dash of old-school prejudice against single moms scraping by. The counterpunch came at the next HOA meeting, packed with neighbors who'd had enough of her reign. I stood up, heart pounding, Noah on my hip for that extra gut punch visual, and laid it all out with the evidence Jack and I compiled. Karen's not protecting our community, she's looting it, I said, voice steady despite the butterflies, as gasps rippled through the room. She exploded, face red as a tomato, sputtering, you little ingrate, I'll sue you for slander. But the tide turned. Folks started sharing their stories, votes flipped, and by the end, she was ousted, slinking out with her tail between her legs, muttering threats that fizzled into nothing. Jack squeezed my hand under the table, his grin saying it all. We'd won, not just for me, but for everyone she'd stepped on. Looking back, that fight changed everything. Pine Valley feels like home now, with barbecues and kids playing freely, no more fear of the clipboard tyrant. But here's the thing that still nags at me. Was Karen just a bully, or did the system let her thrive? HOA rules twisted into weapons? Makes you wonder about power in these tight-knit spots. What do you think? Have you dealt with a neighborhood nightmare like this? Drop a comment below, share your stories of standing up or getting steamrolled, and let's chat about where justice really lies in these community clashes. Hit like if this hit home, and subscribe for more real-life tales that might just inspire your next move.